Joining us now on Blitz is John Cornett, head coach of the Lady Indian soccer team at Towns County. John, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, Brian. I appreciate you keeping track of our soccer team, and we're excited to be here.
Yeah, and you got to be pleased for the most part with the way that the season's gone for you. You're 5-3 overall, I believe 2-3 in region play. How would you assess this season so far?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I knew that I had enough players to have a good team. I think it was a matter of getting them convinced that we could be good. And I think that if you ask the girls right now, they'd actually be a little upset at being 5-3 because I think 3 of those losses, any one of them could have been a win. Overall they're happy. They're happy about it. But I think deep down inside they know that we could be undefeated if we really wanted to.
And I believe this is your, correct me if I'm wrong, your first season taking over the program. What was it like when you first step in and any hurdles that you had to face and getting the girls to buy in early?
It was, I never would have imagined that I would have been coaching girls soccer. But if it weren't for my daughter, she wanted me to coach her, and I coached her before in middle school. And, when Dr. Hobbs called me and told me they had an opening for girls soccer, I jumped on it. And, coming into the program, I didn't really know what to expect. I'm still learning. I don't claim to know all the X's and O's about soccer, but I do have Kathy Brown and Peter Byrne on my staff who've helped me out quite a bit, and just knowing the ins and outs of everything to do with soccer. I've enjoyed it. Coaching girls is different than coaching boys. There's some huge differences, and then there's some minor differences. I feel like in my mind, I've got the 11 best players in the state.
Yeah.
So it makes my job easy,
Yeah, and it certainly, as you mentioned, having Peter Byrne on there, I know he's, led the team for a while as well.
Yeah.
What is it like, though, when you have this kind of hiatus you have right now? You haven't played, I believe, since the 31st, maybe, and you don't play again till the 11th of April. I know everyone kind of gets that break with spring break, but what's that like when you got to take that time off?
It's tough, and the one thing I got to remember is that it's just high school sports. Not to put that down, but I don't want to make, high school sports bigger than it really is. And I've got to keep in mind that there are families out there no different than mine that want family time and family vacation. And we'll be okay. I encourage the girls to go out and get some form of running in up to about 2 miles. And for any of the ones that have been around, we've had a couple practices this week.
Right.
So, and sometimes, Brian, a rest from the game could be the best thing. You get that hunger back in you to play. And,
Sure.
Sometimes the season gets so long that there's a lull. So sometimes spring break could be the best thing.
Yeah. And now one girl that's been a pleasant surprise and kind of made a name for herself already at this point is just a sophomore is Brooke Barrett. She was recently one of our Player of the Week on Blitz. Talk about the offense that she's been able to provide and how special of a talent she is.
Yeah, I will say this. When I first took the job up here at Towns, that was the name I heard about. And everybody knows that name. And, in my mind, she's probably the best player in the state for 1A, if not all of the state of Georgia. But she's my player. I got to be biased. But there's no question that every team knows who Brooke Barrett is, and they know that they have to stop Brooke Barrett. She's a phenomenal player. She has tremendous footwork with the ball, and she's got a cannon for a leg. Mm-hmm. So once she crosses midfield, every goalie knows, okay, it could come from any spot now. So
yeah.
She's an amazing player.
And as good as she's been, on the flip side, teams don't have to just worry about Brooke, but they also have to worry about trying to figure out how to score because their defense has been really stingy. Only 7 goals allowed this year, 2 shutouts. Yeah. You got to be pleased with having that going for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I have our goalie Jordan Hyatt is I mean, I hate to say this every time, but she's probably one of the best in our area. And she's only a sophomore, too. And then in front of her, you have Taylor Underwood. And, man, I've had some sit-down talks with her, and I don't think she really knows how good she can be. You know, she's a taller girl, and she's got long legs and probably faster than anyone that we play against. And so, I mean, with a sweeper like that and a goalie like Jordan, you can get a lot done. And then, you know, in front of them, you have Callie Hogsett and Allie Settles, who Callie's a junior and Allie's a senior, and they're as fast as anybody, and they control the ball well, too. So for anyone to get through our defense, it's going to take a special player.
Yeah.
So.
Well, John, it sounds like you got a great group of girls that are humble and hungry and talented, and we just wish you the best of the luck the rest of the season.
Well, Brian, I appreciate it, and you know, we've got a big game coming up against Providence that if we win that, we're in the playoffs. And you know, once we make the playoffs, who knows what these girls can do? But I think that they know. So I appreciate all your support.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it and cheering your girls on the rest of the way. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Brian.